Shalom, Yasharah, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Achakwadash. Double honors to the apostles or the elders, great millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right, this is 2 Kings chapter 17. We're just going to grab these first few verses starting at the top, and it reads, In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Now, if you're familiar with the split of the nation of Israel after King Solomon's reign, okay, because the kingdom was rent into two, okay, because of Solomon's sins before the Lord. All right, and we were split up to that southern kingdom of Judah, and the capital was Jerusalem, which consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And that northern kingdom of Israel had their capital at Samaria, and that consisted of the remaining tribes. And this is what we're reading about. It says, in the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the king of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. All right, so we're talking about the northern kingdom of Israel, capital Samaria. It says, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. Okay, so he's basically in the term that you will most often hear is he's basically paying tributes, pretty much. All right. Verse 4 says, and the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, which that seems to be an ongoing thing with Israelites going down to Egypt for help, right? Ancient Egypt and modern day spiritual Egypt, which is America. But just as a side note, it says, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore, the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. All right, so he stopped paying his tributes or being a vassal, whatever it was that he was, doing under the king of Assyria. He stopped giving those gifts, and he went down to the king of Egypt, which was So at this particular time. All right, and so he got found out by the king, which will be obvious anyways, because if you send gifts elsewhere, and you stop sending them to where you've been doing for several years now, something's going to look suspect. All right. I mean, the smart way probably would have been, which I'm not, saying it was okay anyways, but, basically saying maybe you should have went to Egypt and then still sent whatever to Assyria to cover your tracks. But he didn't do that. But so, obviously that was just, man's goings being of the Lord. All right. It was meant to be that way. That's just the way that portion of the story of history was written by the Lord. But we're not hanging on that. Let's read it again. This latter half, it says, he brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore, the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. All right, so he pretty much waged the war. Okay, and this is obviously 3 years, because it says and besieged it 3 years. All right, as a matter of fact, I'll do this for you. Not that I'm gonna have to blow it up. We'll see here, because I'm not in the blue letter, so we'll Google punch it. I'll call it Google punch for those that don't know. But yeah, just a quick word search. All right, besiege. We understand what it is, but for sake of this, see what we can pull up real quick. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get this drop down menu.
Besieged.
She's always late. All right, wait for that drop down menu, but it's not coming up. But anyways, it says of a place. Oh, here we go. It says surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. And there you go. Case in point, right there below it. It says the besieged city. All right. Read it again. It says surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. All right. That's exactly what happened. What else we got here? Surround a place with armed forces in order to capture it or force its surrender. Lay siege to. Okay, pretty much the same thing. All right, and okay, we got some word origin. Old French assigier, I guess, whatever. Middle English siege, and in Middle English later it became besiege. All right, so that's basically what it is. You're pretty much waging war, and you pretty much, the beginning steps of a war, like when you're going up against the kingdom that has walls. You watch these movies, like they shut up the gates and things, set archers on their walls, troops ready to go inside the walls and stuff. So that's what happened. He besieged it. Okay, and this is usually where those where they bring their siege weapons out, catapults, battering rams, and things of that nature, trying to force through the door or break down a portion of an outer wall to reach the inner wall so they can get inside the city or whatever. All right, they besieged this city 3 years to eventually, forcefully take it down. All right, and when we go back, we're gonna pretty much cover, which is only a couple more verses. All right, so let's go and jump back over to 2 Kings 17:5. And it reads, the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. And once again, remember, Samaria is the capital. All right, verse 6 says, in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel. All right, when it says carry Israel, it's not talking about all Israelites. Okay, it was talking about northern kingdom Israelites. Now, there were also, some northern kingdom Israelites that ended up down in the southern kingdom. Okay, so when that southern kingdom went into their particular captivity, which through time was known as the transatlantic slave trade, there were actually northern kingdom Israelites there as well. Okay, but this is talking specifically about the northern kingdom only. It says in the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. Okay. We'll pause right there for a second and I want you to check something out.
Okay. And you mentioned the indigenous language of was it the Aztecs or the Mayans?
Both of them.
Both of them. Mm-hmm. You said it was connected to an old Hebrew.
Ancient Paleo-Hebrew.
So does that mean that language that was indigenous to what Mexico and Central America is today was a Semitic language?
Yeah, so what the schools teach you is an indoctrination. You get inducted into this indoctrination of what they want to call you or what they tell you that you are. So for instance, our people get called Hispanic, right? So Hispanic, not knowing what that term means, we call each other Hispanics, but that was under the Spaniard captivity. When the Spaniards came in 1492 and, raped, robbed, and pillaged, the people of Mexico, how they knew you were under that captivity was by calling you an Hispanic, how you belonged to a family of a Spaniard that took you worked on their plantation, you were given their last name, like my last name, Ayala. That comes from whatever captivity my family got taken into, and maybe we have to work on fields, whether it was picking, tobacco or whatever that family had us doing. That's what we did. Now Latino is different. Latino is under the Grecian captivity. That's if you were Latino, or how they differentiated the both of them is Latino actually meant that your bloodline dated back to a Grecian or a Greek. And people that are from down south, Guatemala, El Salvador, just South America, they're not Latino. Their dads aren't Greek. We're still of this brown race. Like they call, black people or African Americans that are here now Africans, and they're not from Africa. They actually just got taken into captivity in Africa while fleeing Israel. Africans are Hamites. They're from the tribe of Ham. So they're just a different people, and that's why people in Africa don't accept the blacks that are here, the so-called blacks that are here in America, because they say those aren't our people, And history, they won't teach you. In my era, they taught us a little bit of Aztecs and Mayas and Incas, just a little bit, but they never tell you how our people got here. They'll never tell you. We came from somewhere. They'll never tell you, how we read the stars. We used a thing called cenotes. which were these ponds, reflection ponds, to read the stars.
The other thing is, that's near where the shaman lived. And there was these sort of things, and I said, what are these? And they said, they're reflection ponds. I said, oh, like for reflecting. And he goes, no, for reflecting. And I'd never considered that you don't look at the stars by going, but that really you look down and you mark. In 7 years, when it comes around again, you're like, pattern. Because I'm always like, how do you look up and learn a pattern of that?
Right.
But by looking down.
So they had ponds just to look at the reflection of the stars and map them out.
Yeah, the shaman did. That was like in their neighborhood. And the way we were shaman is if you had a birthmark on your head when you were born, they immediately were like, 2 boards, rope, and just put 2 boards and roped you and began a lifetime of, so you're a shaman.
While Columbus was looking up at the stars, trying to read them, trying to find these holy people that had a blessed land that was promised to them, full of riches and rich soil and all this and that, he was looking up at the stars. And he didn't know how to use geometry using the reflection ponds. And that's how we got here. Our real name is not Aztec. It's Issachar. That's our real name. 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 They gave us the name Aztec because it means people of time, because we kept time in numbers. And so that's where that came from. So it's really important to know your history, you know?
Now, are any of your tattoos reflective of that ancient culture?
Yep. One of them is the high priest right here, which you would go to, to seek wisdom, either medicine or sacrificing, stuff like that.
You're talking about human sacrifice?
Yeah.
Which was pretty common in the 11th, 12th century?
Yeah, and yeah. It was. A lot of people don't know why they would sacrifice, for worshiping the sun, but most of it was young children for the benefits of the adrenalized blood.
2 Kings, the 17th chapter, verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord Yahweh their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. One of those main sins, all right? Exodus chapter 20 tells you he's a jealous power, okay? Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. And walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom Yahweh cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord Yahweh their power. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom Yahweh carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke Yahweh to anger. For they served idols, whereof Yahweh had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in Yahweh their power, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he had made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity, and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom Yahweh had charged them, that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of Yahweh their power, and made them molten images, even to calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and use divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger. All right.
When they would drink the blood, and it was used as adrenochrome, and that's why you have a big indictment today with a lot of people that got busted, for this stuff. And now they're finding out what they were doing. Like Ellen DeGeneres got busted, Tom Hanks. You got Obamas that got busted. You got Oprah Winfrey that got busted, and they're all part of this whole thing when it comes to adrenochrome and drinking that adrenalized blood, and the benefits of keeping you youthful.
When it comes to those human sacrifices that they did back in, let's say, the 11th, 12th, 13th century, would you say that was pretty brutal, looking at it in today's terms? Because it's murder,
Right.
and someone is losing their life, but it was pretty common back then. How do you rationalize that, ethically and morally?
So I think morally and ethically, it's bad all around. I mean, who wants to die or say, hey, kill me, But back then, a lot of the kings would manipulate the people and say, if you want this blessing or whatever, offer up your firstborn or bring one of your child that's pure, and they would do that. Issachar, that's our real name. It's Issachar, that's our real name. It's Issachar, that's our real name. It's Issachar, that's our real name.